creating a Azure Kubernetes cluster. So the nickname for Azure Kubernetes cluster is AKS. Okay, that we will be creating it. Then thereafter, using our Helm chart, whatever we have created a tested, right? The same thing will be going and deploying it into AKS cluster. So let us crack on. Yeah. So I hope you have a Azure's account. If not, just create a new free account. You'll get around $200 of free money. Yeah. With that one, you should be able to create your. You should be able to get a $200 credit. Okay. So once it has been created, right? So what you could do is go to Kubernetes cluster here. Okay. Or you can, what you can do is in the search box you can say Kubernetes. Okay, service. Then what you could do is click on create Kubernetes service. Okay. Then if you have a resource group, you create it within that, or you can say, I will say new, create new. I will say today is 4th June. Okay, 4th June. I will say this is our resource group. Okay. So in the bracket, if you could see, it says new, meaning it will go and create it. Okay. So I will select a dev and test so that it will be a little bit easy for my pocket. Okay. Otherwise it will be quite expensive. Okay. I'll say AKS demo. Okay. This is our Kubernetes cluster name. Okay. So I'm residing in UK South, so I'll use the same region. So according to whichever place you are in, that but you can choose it out. Okay. So availability zone, as of now, let us not touch that. Let us keep it as it is. Okay. AKS pricing tier, I'll go with the free because I don't want it to be charged, right? So next bit is auto scale. So in actual projects, we will go for auto scale. So this is just a demo. We'll go for the manual itself. Okay. In that one, we will pick up the minimal version which cost us less price. Okay. Let us go for B2MS. Okay, so which will cost us 34 if we are keep it running for $34 if you keep it for running for 1 month time. Okay, so 2 VPCU. Okay, so manual scale, let us keep it as only 1. Okay, so we are not deploying heavy nodes, right? So heavy workloads. So we will go for 1 node. Okay, node pool, 1 agent node pool should be fine for us. Okay, so let us go with the default one. Okay, networking, but okay, let us go with the Kubernetes network configuration. What I will do is what is the difference between Kubernetes and Azure CNI? There are few drawbacks are there. Okay, those bit soon I will try to send out. I will create a new video in my YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, Beginner Academy. Okay, over there we'll try to post it. Okay, so we'll choose by default configurations. We'll go to the net integrations. Okay, so here also as is. Yeah, that should be fine. There is a one settings we need to do it. So if you wanted to use any container registry, okay, when Azure Container Registry where you host your Docker images, right? Then you can select that particular container registry here. So I have already one ACR BA demo, so I'll choose that one. If you don't have it, it should be fine. You can keep your containers, images in Docker Hub as well, and from Docker Hub you can pull it inside the EKS cluster. Okay, since I have it, I am just selecting it. Okay, so I will select if you wanted to change this resource group name, you should be able to do it. So I'll keep it default. So no need, as of now I'm not going for any tags. So I'll quickly say review and create. Okay, so if you see validation is passed. Okay, so if you wanted to automate it using ARM template, right, you should be able to download at this point in time, right? You don't want to do it manually via portal, right? You wanted to do using ARM template. ARM template is called as a Azure Resource Manager templates. So whatever the configuration I've selected it, right? Based on that, it has created a template. If you want that, you can click on download. It will click on here. Okay, it will download a template.zip file. That you can use it for your automation. but note that it will be infrastructure provisioning will be via ARM template rather than a Terraform. Okay, so in the next week session, we will be learning about Terraform, and we'll be spinning this Kubernetes cluster using Terraform. Okay, so probably ARM template, I will create a video. Yeah. So yeah, so as of now, we'll go with this, but okay, I will close this, but I've downloaded it. Okay, so click on create. Okay, so if you click on create, automatically it takes a couple of minutes in order to create our all the resources. Okay, so let it create it. Okay, in the background, what I will do is I will explain about what is AKS, but okay, how exactly under the hood AKS node architecture it resides. Okay, let us go to that. So let it run. Okay, it usually takes 5 to 10 minutes. So I wanted to show the process, how exactly it has to be done. So that is the reason in this session itself I wanted to do it. Okay, otherwise I could have created it uh, whenever I had a good time, right? I could have done that, but I wanted to do it in this session itself. Okay, so that you guys feel comfortable. Yeah. So now if you could see here subscription, if you go to the subscription, okay, go back here. If you click on resource groups, okay, um, resource group, I have given 4th, okay, 4th June. So if you could see here, 4th June resource group, it has been created. Here AKS demo, it has been, still it is creating it. Okay. So in that one, you can see that. And then if I go back to the resource group here itself, you can search it by using resource group here as well. Okay. Or you can type 4th June. Okay, so if you type it, you should be able to see this bit. So here also by clicking that, you can find it out. So there are two resource group, automatically it created it. Okay, if I see that, this is a automatically Kubernetes cluster, it has asked, right? So at that time, so those details, it will, I mean, Kubernetes related nodes as well as load balancer and all those things, it will be created in this particular resource group. So in this resource group, if you could see here, so what are the things it has created? Virtual machine scale set, okay, VNet, the agent pool, Kubernetes, okay, this is a identity, okay, this is our virtual network, okay. So root tables, it has been created, NSG, it has been created, okay, one public IP, which is in order to interact with our API server, okay. So let us go and click on this agent pools, okay, 1 second. So if you could see here, this agent pool is there, right? Still it is updating, okay. So in this agent, this is a VMSS. VMSS stands for a virtual machine scale set. Okay, if you go and search it out, so you should be able to find this bit. Okay, what is virtual machine scale set? It is basically in order to create multiple virtual machine of same set and same configuration. Okay, so it is if you wanted to in our Kubernetes world, right? So the same size and same memory, if you wanted to create virtual machine, same type of it, multiple virtual machines, a group of virtual machine, right? So you use virtual machine scale set. If you wanted to create a virtual machine, directly use a virtual machine bit. Okay. If you wanted a similar type of a virtual machine, same configurations, 1 second, same type of virtual machine configuration, you go for a virtual machine scale set. So here if you see, what it has done is when we created a Azure Kubernetes service, right? Automatically there were two things were there, right? In our and I will open my PPTs. In our Kubernetes session we discussed, right? So 1 second. if you see here, this is our Kubernetes cluster. So here the first part is the control plane. In the AKS cluster, it is hidden for us. Okay, we don't have access to this bit. Okay, the first part. So this is managed by our AKS. AKS meaning Microsoft Azure. Okay, so we won't get access to this control plane. So when I said virtual machine, right? Virtual machine scale set, that is basically these nodes. Okay. So currently I have chosen only one node. Okay. If I wanted to scale it up, I can do it. Okay. This is what the our virtual machine scale set. Okay. So which contains one or more node. Okay. So whatever the under the hood, our AKS, it is creating a virtual machine scale set. Okay. Whatever the machines, how many virtual machines we have selected, according to that, it will go and create our nodes. Okay. If you go to this particular resource group, if you click on virtual machine scale set, you could see the configuration of this particular bit. It is a size of B2S. vCPU has 2, RAM is 4 GB. Okay. So now if you go to click on the instances, if you could see, it is running only one instances because we selected only one, right? So that is what it has been created. Okay. Now coming back to, if you could see here, our Kubernetes cluster, it says deployment is successful. Okay. If you wanted to see the resource, just click on go to resources. Okay. So this is our Kubernetes cluster. Okay. If you wanted to click on the namespace, right? If you click on overview, you will be able to see your Kubernetes cluster details. Okay. So in the namespace, by default, these many namespace is automatically created. Okay. I'll come back to on the namespace in the next session. Okay. So as of now, we will be using the default namespace. Okay. So our node pools, if you click on that, so you would be able to see only one agent pool is there, one of one is up and running. Okay, that is what it says. So we have only one node. Okay, that is nothing but our virtual machine scale set, what I had explained a couple of minutes back. Okay, so now let us connect to this particular AKS cluster. In order to connect to this particular AKS cluster, okay, what you can do is click on connect over here. Okay, and select this bit. Okay, copy this bit. So copy this command and run it in your terminal. Okay, if you are using git bash, then use the git bash. Okay, so if I say that set bit, okay, what it is doing is before prerequisite for this one is you should have a Azure CLI command line installed on your laptop. Okay, that is again a prerequisite. Okay, and easy login you should have done it. Okay, so here if you see here, what I'm doing is easy account set subscription to my beginner academy account. Beginner academy subscription, I'm doing it over here. Okay, what it does is, if usually in our actual work we will be working on with multiple 10 to 20s of subscription, you will be having access. Okay, different Kubernetes cluster, right? If you wanted to connect to a specific Kubernetes cluster which is sitting on a specific subscription, specific Azure subscription, first what you need to do is you need to set your subscription. Okay, so once it has been set, the next command what you will do is you have to click on the second credentials. Okay, second command. Okay, what the name itself suggests, it says download a cluster credentials. Okay, so what the cluster credentials is basically, okay, so when you run this bed, okay, I will just clear it out. If you run this particular command, which is AKS, it is get credential from a resource group as this bed. Our AKS cluster is setting, the AKS cluster name is this bed. Okay, what it does is, in my laptop there won't be any Kubernetes cluster credential, it won't be there. Okay, so what with this command we are getting a credential from our AKS cluster to our own laptop. Okay, that is what we are doing it over here. Okay, so I wanted to be admin. Okay, I wanted a admin credential, so that is the reason I'm passing --admin. Okay, if I enter this bit, okay, let me minimize this bit. Okay, if I enter this bit, what it does is it goes and downloads our credentials and keeps it in this particular location. Okay, this is nothing but our credentials from your laptop in order to connect to AKS cluster, right? Authentication and authorization should happen, right? So that is what these credentials are. Okay, so all this since I said admin, so I will get admin privileges. Okay, these credentials will be stored in this particular file. Okay, note that this is common for any Kubernetes cluster. In case of a Minikube or in case of a EKS, irrespective of cloud, this is the same mechanism. Okay, the command may differ. Okay, but it will go and download your config file under this particular path itself. Okay, so now once I am connected to our AKS cluster, what I will do is I will say kubectl. Okay, I will say get node. Okay, I will say get no. No is nothing but it's a shortcut for node. Okay, if you say nodes, then also it will give the same thing. If I say node, it will give the same response. If I say no, that also it will give you the same response. Okay, so here if you could see the name of our agents, it has been printed. Okay, so if you go here, you see our node pool, click on here, the nodes, it is nothing but the control if I do it, that is the same node. Okay, so again it is the same agent. Okay, if I click this is our virtual machine scale set. Okay, if I click on agents here, okay, so if you see here, this is our computer name is, and I'll expand it, it is the same computer name. Okay, so it's the same agent. Okay, that is what I wanted to show you guys. Let us go back to our AKS cluster. Okay, so if you see here, now we have connected to our AKS cluster now. Okay, let us check how many tables are present. Okay, so how many pods are present? Sorry, table. If you see here, it says no resource found in our default namespace. Okay, there are no Kubernetes resources. I will say all as well. If you say all, by default, if you could see here, by default, there is a Kubernetes service is up and running. Okay, that is what it is able to show. The Kubernetes service, it has been deployed. That's in the vanilla system, it will be there. Okay, vanilla AKS, vanilla Kubernetes Kubernetes cluster. Okay, that is what you were able to see it over here. Okay, so now let us go to our MySQL. Okay, as part of our requirement, what it was basically to deploy Spring application and a MySQL database. Okay, using our Helm chart, what we created yesterday. Okay, so let us use MySQL database. Okay, first we will do deployment to MySQL. I'm in the same folder. Okay, I will go to the ls. Okay, if you see the same MySQL charts, it is present. Okay, I will say first let me check it out. Is there any Helm charts exist beforehand, right? If you say Helm ls, nothing is present. Okay, now using Helm chart, what I will do is I will install my MySQL. I will say Helm install MySQL. Okay, and where is my chart is present in my current working directory. That is what I'm going to give it now. If I say that, it says status is deployed. Okay, version is 1, right? So if I go and check my kubectl command, kubectl pod, if I do it, it says container creating. Okay, it is 11 seconds ago. Note that the first time, right, the image it has to download on this particular node. Okay, the image has to be downloaded from the Docker Hub. Okay, that is what it takes. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So if you see within 31 seconds ago, our MySQL database is up and running. Okay, so let us log into this MySQL. Okay, and check it out whether it has all the tables present. Okay, So the command is kubectl. I will say exe stand for execute minus it interactive. Okay, the pod name. Okay, slash bin slash bash. Right, do it. So you would be able to see. You would be able to log into bash. You are now we are inside our MySQL container. Okay, I'll say MySQL minus u stand for a user. Root user is root, minus p is the password. I will enter admin at the rate 123. That is what it has been given. Okay, so if you could see here, I'm able to log in. So let us say show databases. Okay, if you see, our employee DB has been created. Okay, so now let us go, and what we will do is, let us go and use this DB. Okay, use DB. Let us show the tables present in this particular database. Empty set, meaning nothing is there, right? It has been freshly just now created. Okay, so now let us go to the next work is we need to go and deploy our Spring Boot application, okay, which has been created by us, right? We are in the Spring Boot folder now. Okay, let it be running in the other window. We will take another tab. Okay, another terminal. We'll do helm ls. So if you see, MySQL has been deployed. Okay, so now next one is deploying our application. Okay, helm install. Okay, helm install. We'll say it is a Spring Boot application, like Spring Boot. Okay, we'll give the name, and then we will give dot. Okay, so if you see here, it has been created now. Okay, I will do helm ls. So if you see here, the second one, it says it has been deployed. The status is status, it says it has been deployed. Okay, so now let us go and check our Kubernetes commands. Okay, I'll say kubectl get pod. So if you see, 20 seconds ago, our Spring Boot application has been deployed and running successfully. Okay, so if I go and see it, kubectl get a pod. Okay, the same command, I wanted to see where exactly, which node this application is running. So if you see here, we can have multiple nodes, right? So you wanted to see in which node it has been running. Currently, for demo purpose, I have selected only one node, but think that if you have a multiple nodes. So by default, whatever the request, it is going to API server, right? Using our helm command, everything it will be residing on this particular node itself, because there is no other nodes at all, right? So if you have a multiple nodes, then you can run a command minus po plus o stand for output, will say wide. Okay, if you so this is a crash loop. Okay, let us see what has happened. Okay, it says crash loop back off. We'll triage it out. Okay, whatever it has happened. Okay, so let me reduce the size of it. Okay, so that you can see the IP address. So if you see all these pods, it has been deployed to the same node. Okay, and the node IP address, it has been deployed. So how exactly you found out? It is using minus o wide. Okay, so now let us go and triage this particular issue, why it is failing. Okay, if I say get pod, it says it has been crash loop. Okay, so let us go and triage it out. Kubectl describe. Okay, describe our pod. Okay, if you see here, it says image is already present. This says terminated. Okay, it is not giving us any error. Okay, so let us go and check it out. Okay, we will see all the SVC is present. Yes, MySQL database has been running. Okay, so let us go and check the configurations. Okay, get CM. Okay, get CM, get the secret. Okay, our database looks like the passwords, everything looks fine. Okay, so now probably there is some issue with our pod. So let us check the logs of it. Okay, logs -f, enter it. Okay, why it is complaining about this? exe user java jdk20 bin java. Okay, second. It is giving us a standard error. If I do logs minus exe, it looks like there is some issue with our application. Okay, so it says error installing binaries. Looks like cannot have a binaries. Looks like there is some issue with our Java. Let me try to find it out. Cannot execute our binaries. Let me go and check the code. Okay, so if I go and check the code, exactly we are running. See that .yaml file. You are using 20th May 28th. Okay, so we will see our Spring deployment. It is referring our image called as, if I see the values, this is our image, it is referring it. Okay, so let us go and check it out, what has happened this with this particular image. Okay, that is basically our backend. This is our chart. Okay, so our docker file is this is what it has been using it. Okay, we were able to run this bit, okay, using on a minikube cluster, but looks like there is some issue on the AKS cluster. Why exactly it has came up particular error, we will triage it out. Okay, so if I do a kubectl get pods, enter. Okay, already 5 times it has been restarted. So this kind of issues you will be facing it out. Okay, let me go and check it out, our Docker Hub. Okay, I will go to Docker Hub. We'll check do we have any other version of it. Okay, going to this particular 7 days ago I had pushed it out. Okay, so let me try it out to this 54. Okay, so it has any issue on this particular file, but the same thing, it has worked for us. Okay, so we'll see why this is giving us a error. Looks like demo gods are not happy today. Okay, so if I see it properly, this is what the image is right. Okay, due to some issue it is unable to interact with our and there is some issue with our image itself. Okay, that is what it says, but it is fun. It's a bit funny because the same thing it has run. We were successfully able to run it on our minikube cluster. Okay, so if you see, I have modified my version of it, that is 54. Okay, I will go and apply what I will run is, I will run helm, I'll say upgrade. Okay, okay, before that I need to find out what name I gave. Okay, Spring Boot I have given. Okay, I will upgrade now, helm upgrade. Okay, the Spring Boot and dot. Okay, there's my spelling mistake. Okay, it has been deployed. We will go and check it out now. Both are crashed loop. Okay, there is some issue is there. We'll see what is this issue. Okay, so if that in order to triage it further, I would like to run it from the YAML itself on Kubernetes cluster. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so in order to run that bit, we need to uninstall our Spring Boot application. Okay, I will say helm uninstall our Spring Boot, and we will triage it in our using YAML file. Okay, so if you see here, what we did was we were able to successfully uninstall whatever the commands, whatever the chart we have used it, right? It should have gone in and deleted all the things what we deployed it. If I say get a pod, it will, the Spring Boot application is gone. Okay, if I say svc, our Spring Boot employee service is also gone. Okay, now let us go and run it from our YAML file. Okay, so YAML file, it exists here. So what I will do here is I will try to run it from here. kubectl apply -f and then Spring. Okay, so let me check it out whether it is proper or not. Okay, it uses the 28. Okay, rest other looks fine. Okay, let us run it out. Okay, it says created. Okay, so let us go and check it out here. Okay, here also it is the same crash loop. That's pretty odd. Kubernetes cluster. Okay, let us go and do a small modification. Okay, so it looks like some issue with JDK. If I go check again, I say logs. Okay, logs for this bit. It says execute open JDK. Looks like this particular JDK might be having a issue. Okay, so we will bundle our image with another version of JDK. Okay, how you do that? It is basically instead of OpenJDK 20, we will use 17. Okay, we'll try to find it out why exactly this particular error is there. Okay, so let me go and Google it out. Is okay. This is a different one. Okay, let me try it on. Obviously, this kind of error people could have faced it. Check it out. Yeah, recent is there's some this. If you see, it's the same error. Okay, it's a 15 days ago. Okay, people have faced this one 15 days ago. So this could have. Okay, I'm trying to run Docker image. This is on the AWS. Okay, I'm getting this error. Okay, it's the same thing. Whatever we are using it. So what it says, you have built an image on a system with an ARM processor, and you are trying to run it on an environment with 86. On your Apple process, you run it on AWS. different error. Okay. So this is a recent issue. Okay, so let us start in Docker file. Okay. My case, we are using, we built the image using ARM processor. Okay, this is very good example. Okay, change this setup by changing the Docker file. Okay, people have faced it recently itself and they are able to run it out. Okay, so what I will do is I will run it like this, see it out. If it works out, we'll check it out. Okay, so I will say Docker okay, I need to run it freshly. Okay, even D true. Okay, I'm rebuilding it, so we'll see what it does. Compiled it, should have created a target folder. Okay, now let us create the images. Okay, Docker test. Okay, Docker is not running. Give me 2 minutes in order to sort it out. If not, in the next class I will try to sort it out. Okay, we should be able to sort it out because it's a known issue. Recently it has came in. Okay, as you could see, 1 month when asked it, this one was asked 2 years ago, but here if you could see here, this is this kind of error 15 days ago itself people have faced it. So yeah, it's a pretty new, I'm thinking. Okay, our desktop is running, image is running. Okay, so let us create a new image. So I will say Docker t, today's state is 4th, right? Yeah, let us see how it goes. Since probably why in Minikube it has worked is probably Minikube cluster and my wherever I have built, right, it is on the Apple machine itself. That is the reason probably it didn't give us a error. Okay, so that is what I feel. Image has been created. Okay, push it to Docker Hub. Docker whatever the command I have used it here. To the same details I will modify it once it is successfully pushed, right? So I'll try to modify it. The next bit is I need to modify our Helm charts. This is the tag I have given it as 4th. Okay, that is what I will mention it here. I'll go back to here. If I get parts, okay, this one is older one. I will have to delete it off. Okay. Deleted. I will say helm s. Not that. I will go and install Spring Boot. Okay. We'll say yeah. In we have uninstalled it, so it is a fresh installation for us. We have installed it. We'll okay. Let us go and check it out. This container creating it. We will watch it out. Okay, it is still giving me a problem. Okay, very good. Let's check it out. Okay, now it is a different error. Okay. Okay, so error is a compilation issue we are facing. Oh, okay, it's a compilation error is there. Okay, so 33 is compiled with a more recent version of it. It is 6.4. Okay, 6.1. Okay, there is. Oh, I gone. Okay, my bad. Reverted it, right? Could have not done this. So need to rebuild it. Let's go and rebuild it. The fourth 1.0. Okay, that in time I'll. Okay, uninstalled. So there are few issues. This kind of issues you will be facing it. Okay, as a DevOps engineer, but you should be able to sort out for this kind of issues. Okay, that should not be a problem. It failed to read a Docker file. Why? Okay, we don't have a Docker file here. Okay, enter it. And another thing in today 4 o'clock we have kept a question and answer. If you have any questions, right, you should can come and join our session, and you should be able to ask any doubt or any questions you have, right? You should be able to ask us. Okay. Docker push 4.4 1.0 by the C templates change the tag to 4 1.0. We'll see what is the error. We get it now. Okay, it has been built and as well as it has been pushed. Okay, now let us go and install it. Okay, gives it a get pass, nothing there. Go and install it. Install the Spring Boot. Okay, it has been installed. They get the watch. Let us watch it out. If this kind of issue persists, what I will do is probably we will test it out in the next session. Okay, I'll continue this bit and fix it, and I'll try to find it out what exactly this particular issue has occurred. If you could see, it has fixed it. It is in a running state. Yeah. So 6 seconds ago, it was a container creating it. It says it's up and running. Okay. If I do a kubectl get pod, yes, it has been deployed. Okay. How do you check it? Go to your MySQL container. Okay. Container type MySQL minus root p 823. Okay. Databases. Okay. Use employee DB. Okay. Sure. You see the tables automatically has been created. Here it was empty for us. So tables empty set, right? Now you are able to see the table. So meaning our application is up and running. Yeah. So employees database been deployed. So our employee, the Spring Boot application has been deployed. Okay. So now there are a couple of things. Okay. So currently what we have configured is our deployment is our application is running on a service as a node port. Okay, we wanted to change it as a load balancer. We wanted to access this application over the internet. So how do you do it? Change it to load balancer. Okay, load B capital balancer. Save it. Okay, we will go and if you see get SVC, our service is node port. Okay, this we are changing it to load balancer, and external IP will get a public IP. So let us go and deploy it now. Okay, if I go and install our, okay, instead of install we need to say upgrade because installation has been done. I'll say upgrade. If you see, it has been upgraded. If I go and see get SVC, if you could see, it has been changed from node port to load balancer, and external IP is pending. So let us go and wait for it. Okay, I will watch it so that it will get changed. Oh, immediately it got changed. That was very quick. So you copy this IP address, okay, external IP. So now let us go and access it over the internet. Okay, internet. Okay, I will say I host API 1. This was our application, right? So that is what we were accessing it. Now let us hit it like this. It should work fine. See, yeah, cool, superb. Our application is working fine over the internet. So if you want, I can paste it over in the chat. So get that chat window. Okay, so if you want, if you wanted to access it over the internet, yeah, you should be able to do it. Okay, chat. If you wanted to access it, you can try it out. Okay, I pinged it over the chat. Okay, if you hit that particular URL, you should be able to access it. Okay, so now what I will do is using our Postman, I will try to access the same application. Okay, so let us do some testing. You can even hit it over the internet. Okay, because this particular application has been deployed over the internet. Okay, so let me quit my Docker. Necessary to increase the memory. Okay, so I will change, instead of a local host, I will change it to our external IP address. Okay, and body I have weekend June 4th June. I will mention it out. Okay, I will say I'll post it. If you see the first record, it has been created. If you do a refresh, the first record over the internet we have created it. Yeah. So in this way, you can create our application, okay, over the internet. Okay. So if you see this, our application is running on a AKS cluster using our load balancer, okay, over the internet. Okay. So if you could, if you wanted to further test it out, okay, so just change it out. I will make it as a AKS session. Okay, AKS session. Let us create couple of data AKS sessions. Okay, send. So if you see here, the record has been, second record, it has been created. You see, second record, it has been created. So further, if you wanted to add another data, second AKS, second, let me add it out. My name is, send it out. The third data will be added over here. Yeah, and if you wanted, I will say BA. Fourth record, it has been added. So if you, this is over the internet we are accessing it. Okay. Instead of a IP address, we will be fronting it with a proper DNS name, probably in the next session. Yeah, we will try to access it over the internet. Yeah, actual application.